Where am I live? Oh, okay. So I guess I am live now. Okay. Here, I'll keep this page up so I can see any insights or anything. Hey guys, how are you doing? I am sorry for coming on late today. I've been doing a lot of research on the lighting and also, hold on a minute. Oh, I have a bit of a stomach ache. I have a stomach ache today. I feel like some days I just have stomach problems. Well, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You carry on. Uh, News. This is why I'm late. Everybody called me. But yesterday, my oldest sister, Robin, lives in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. So if you guys know anything about the events of yesterday, North Carolina, her development, Ocean Ridge Plantation, was hit by a hurricane, no, a tornado, not a hurricane. It was very bad rain, but she was hit by and friends of hers, 3 friends of hers died. Houses are devastated. This is a beautiful neighborhood, all new houses, older houses, beautiful homes on the golf course in Ocean Isle Beach, North Carolina. And I didn't know that it happened until I was having my coffee yesterday morning and I was reading the news through my iPad. And I said, oh, Ocean Isle Beach, Ocean Ridge Plantation. I was like, wait a minute. Her friend's house, a couple of their friends, one woman lost her husband and another couple was killed. Their house is just completely devastated. So you don't know what's going to happen from one day to the next. One day, everything could be fine. And the next day, it's not okay. So we have to cherish every moment and live each day to its fullest because you never know if there's a tomorrow. And I also give my husband a kiss goodbye, a kiss hello, a kiss when I wake up, because it's important to tell the people you love that you love them, because you never know when you're going to see them again either. My father was a fireman, and perhaps that's why I have that feeling of I may never see you again. I don't know. Maybe a therapist might tell you that. Yeah, you have a trauma because your father was a fireman and maybe you were afraid he was going to die. And I'm like, was I? Oh my gosh. I remember when he used to come home smelling like a fire, like a fireplace, but only fire in someone's house or a building, commercial, whatever. So, as you guys know, I have been preparing for my lighting class. Now, I taught lighting, I started teaching in 2016. So I have content and I'm refining things and updating things, and really so I could put my stuff in to be CEU courses. So I have to make sure I have my bibliography done and all this really great stuff. And, one thing that I found was that how we used to choose light fixtures, how we would pick a light bulb, was based on watts, and watts equals energy. So the watts, like 100-watt bulb, has to do with the energy used to create that brightness of 100 for the energy to use. So they measure it in watts. But that is not really how you can do it, because nowadays, a lot of what you see are LED and halogen bulbs, and the watts on them are much less. Like a LED bulb would be 9 watts, let's say. So how can you compare a 60-watt bulb to a 90 watt, a 9-watt bulb. So the formula, because there is a formula on how to determine how much lighting is required in a space to be at least minimal lighting. So, and then each room has its required amount of brightness per room. So it's not really watts anymore. So I did a calculation of taking your square, you know, you measure the length and the width of the room, find your square foot, then you take that number and you times it by 1.5 and then blah, blah, blah. And I started thinking as I was putting together this formula, you know, because I'm getting my information from different sources. And I do have a book on lighting that I reference, a very good book, this book. And this is the one, I think I need to get the updated one. But for me, I like this book. It's called Lighting Design Basics because it it's graphic. It has illustrations, little charts. I liked the way it was broken down into the paragraphs. And, you know, you have your workstation, workspace lighting. So it has all these different terms for lighting. But anyway, because basically when you do lighting, you need to know the principles of lighting. What is light? Does light affect the color? How does the sunshine affect our bodies chemically? So lots of scientific things behind lighting. But one of the things was, I was reading something in this book, which went back to watts. So I said, but you know what? Nowadays, a light bulb, again, with the watts, is not the same. And what you really should be measuring is the brightness of the space. Like how bright is that bulb? Because now what happens with LED, just because they're 9 watts doesn't mean they have the same brightness. So brightness is called lumens. So watts is power, lumens is brightness. So you know, you really got to do some research when it comes to selecting the actual lighting mechanism, the bulb or diode, or whatever you want to call it now. And I have a light bulb here that I had bought a while ago, and I never used it because it's a 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's a 9 watt, 11 watt, and a 15 watt. So this doesn't tell me what I've grown up on. Is it a 20? Is it a 40 watt, a 50 watt, 75 watt, 100 watt? You know, because that's how I interpret the brightness. But that's not how you do it anymore. Well, you know, they tell you the watts, but how can I use this formula to calculate watts? But also, when I really need to figure out lumens? So I don't have my glasses. Oh, here's my glasses. Because not all light bulbs tell you how many lumens. You need to know how many lumens, how many watts, what is the K value, and which is the temperature value, and what is the color rendering index. These are 4 important steps to measure for a light aperture, whatever you want to call this thing. Because it used to be a bulb, but now they don't call it a bulb anymore. So it tells me the lumens that I get. I get 800 lumens, 1100 lumens, and 1600 lumens. Well, what does that really mean? So you've got to know your lumens to be able to calculate your lighting, because maybe if my space, like a garage, requires 7,000 lumens, and this is a 1600 lumen at the the height, that since this is a three-way, it's at the highest one, it's 1600 lumens. And I know from a chart that I have that I'm including in my light program, that a garage takes 7,000 to 8,000 lumens. And there's a calculation to figure out how many lumens you need. So with 7,000 lumens, I have 1600, so I need 7,000 lumens minimum. And this fixture is going to give me 1600 lumens. So I would need minimum of 4 to 5 bulbs to get the proper overall ambient lighting for the space based on the lumens required for that space. So it's really complicated, and I'm having a hard time figuring it out myself, and I'm an experienced designer. So it's really important to know all of these little guidelines. And also, if you're an experienced designer, these have changed over the years, because now you can program the light fixtures. So a lighting plan is not only the location of the fixtures, it's determining the amount of lumens overall for the room, and then it's layering of the lighting. So that's what's going on with the lighting program that I'm working on. I also, does anybody hear me? So the lighting is really, really complicated. And I see a lot of designers are afraid of the lighting. And the lighting is a very, very important aspect for interior design, because it illuminates, it creates a mood, it provides lighting when you're doing a task. It's our business as design professionals to know the proper lighting in the bathroom. You don't want to have it where it's like blaring and killing you because everything lights up all at one time. Lighting is very important. It's a science, but it's not that complicated that you can't learn it. So you can learn the basics of the lighting. I would say that the placement for the light fixtures is exactly the same, whether you're using an LED light bulb or a halogen or a fluorescent light bulb, that the placement for recessed lighting, now, recessed lighting is usually what we use in the kitchen, or surface lighting of some kind, but the kitchen really requires ambient lighting and task lighting. And if you want, you can have some decorative lighting. So, and you should also incorporate some daylighting into your projects. Also very important to include in your projects. One thing I always say when it comes to, I bit the side of my mouth. I don't know, I can't even talk. One thing I have to say is, when you go into a space, no matter where it is, whether it's residential or commercial, you need to figure out which side is north. Where is the north side of the building? The north side of the building gets like no sun. It's the side that will not get daylight all day long. It will get diffused light. It will never get direct sunlight on a northern exposure. You're going to get mold on the outside of a building on a northern exposure. It's just because it's north. So that affects the way the house is situated. Like, I know that my house, the front faces, which way is my front? My front faces east, and the back of my house faces west. So all day long, that southern exposure, as the sun is making its way around, I'm never getting southern exposure light because I don't have a window on that side. So I get morning light, and then I get afternoon light. I could see the sunset from my window. So locating north in a project is extremely important, so you can control the natural light in the environment, in the space. So, in a natural environment facing south, you've got to worry about if that southern light is streaming in, the sun will bleach and alter the colors of your furniture, your rugs, maybe some paintings. It will yellow cabinetry. It will create a lot of problem with a cherry kitchen if you have a bright sunlight coming in, because the cherry in its natural state is light and dark, light and dark. If you know hickory, light and dark, light and dark. Cherry is somewhat like that, only maybe not quite so dark. Hickory can have like that real dark brown. Cherry doesn't really have that dark brown, but it has a lot of blonde wood in it. Blonde, I said blonde like me. It has a lot of so light and dark, light and dark. That's why you usually see a cherry kitchen stained dark, because it evens the overall color of the wood. And also cherry takes a stain so beautifully. If you had a maple and you try to stain maple, you actually have to be using different kinds of stains, different kinds of finishes, because maple in its natural state is very blonde and it doesn't like to become brunette. Like I said, if I die, I've always wanted to have darker hair, but I would have blonde roots. And someone said, oh, you just go to the hairdresser. This woman with all these, she had black roots. I always wondered, why do those blondes dye their roots black? There she was, fake blonde, telling me I could go high, get low lights or whatever. The people don't understand. It never gets darker. It doesn't get darker. But then people go, oh, you're such pretty blonde hair. I'm like, we all want what we can't have, don't we? Or we want what we don't have. And in the meantime, you just got to be positive and keep on learning and trying to do the best thing. So anyway, what I was trying to say about the research I'm doing, I was reading a blog, and just because these people put these blogs out there doesn't mean that it's a good blog, because I was reading it and I'm like, is it me? Or, this just doesn't make sense to me, which this is like missing a whole paragraph. This is missing a link somewhere. So this blog, it was like, didn't even have all the information. So I was like, well, now I have to do more research to create my own formula and find out more information, because the information that's out there is not always correct. So one thing you need to know is that if I am going to give you information, I research the heck out of it. I know what I'm saying to you because I did the research, or I know because I've done it for a gazillion times. Like my cabinet webinar. I know all about cabinets. This could be someone else calling me back. I don't even know where my phone is. Oh, it's over there. Let's turn that on mute. That's my daughter. At least she's okay. And my sister called me in North Carolina, very devastating. She knew the two people, the husband and wife that died. Very sad. Very, very, very sad. So anyway, you know that I've researched the heck out of my stuff, that I've gotten all the information I need to be correct, that if I'm going to put something out there, I've done my due diligence and I've given you the proper information, because knowledge is power, and power equals confidence, and confidence sells. What my friend Nancy said, confidence is a brand that sells. And how do you get confidence? You just get it over time, with experience, with trial and error, and then seeking answers to your questions, asking questions, finding out answers, and not stopping until you get the answers you want. And I'm kind of like that. I don't stop until I get the answers I want. It needs to make sense to me. I'm not a stupid person. So if I can't understand it, what the heck? How it has to be a formula. So I found a chart I still have to research it further, because it tells you to measure the square footage of the room, but then the formula doesn't make sense to me. So you have to measure foot candles, and this is what I'm researching now. You measure foot candles, which is where they first started with measuring lighting from a good old-fashioned candle. The foot candle is the degree of light that you get for standing 1 foot away from a candle. Okay, so that is a foot candle. Then you take the foot candle times the square footage of the room times by the lumens, and I don't know, it lost me somewhere along the lines. So that's what I'm working on, because it's really paramount to give you like really good information on how to figure this out. Now that's just ambient lighting. That's just your ambient lighting, which is considered general overall lighting to get through, maneuver through the space properly, and to be able to see everything throughout the space. It's not task lighting. So you have your task lighting, which is lighting that you use to, like, for your desk or for where you're cutting your food. Task lighting would be while you're reading a book, anything while you're shaving your face, blow drying your hair. So task lighting is while you're performing an action that needs proper lighting, is where you put task lighting. So you want to have a combination of lighting, your ambient lighting, you know, layered lighting approach, ambient lighting, some decorative lighting, which highlights some artwork perhaps, or highlights the fixture itself on the wall. So it could be a decorative sconce. And then you have your ambient lighting, your task lighting, your decorative lighting, and then your focal layer. Now your focal layer is calling attention to a object or a structure or a pattern without looking at the actual fixture itself. So focal lighting is like in a retail shop, if you want to have a focal point, that beam of light might shine directly on the one jewel inside the counter. Focal lighting could be, you know, lighting in a coffer ceiling because it brings your eye up. So you have to remember to incorporate all the different layers of light and accommodate the different moods within the space that you design. So it's important to know the lighting, especially when it comes to the kitchen, so, and the bathroom, because I saw a post the other day and somebody said, like, they were trying to figure out their lights, and they had one light all the way over here and one light all the way over there. It was two mirrors. Now, if you understand the principles of light, lighting is rays, okay? Light is actual wavelength of rays. So if you have rays, now rays don't go this way, they go that way, whichever direction the bulb is going. And LEDs do more of a glow than they do directional. So that's why they have a problem with these LED bulbs, and they're trying to figure out how to make them better and better and better. And also the color rendering index. So the wavelengths of light are what creates the vision, so, and the brightness. So if you have a light all the way over here and no light in the middle and another light all the way over here, you're going to get a shadow away from this side and a dark spot, and then this person is just going to get a shadow on their face on this side. So you got a shadow, you got a face lit and a shadow. They've got lit and a shadow. That's not about the aesthetics of what looks better on the wall, but what is proper lighting. So in that case, and someone said, oh, put one pendant overall. No, if you're in front of your mirror and you want to shave, you do not want an overhead light or the light on top, you just sometimes never have a choice, but you rather sconce lighting so that it comes at you while you're shaving, while you're doing your hair or putting on your makeup, whatever task in the mirror, you need to have sconces are the best. And you want one on the left and one on the right. And you want a certain amount of lumens for those fixtures. It used to be, I always, again, specified watts. Like I would say, I want in the bathroom, I want 100 watts and 100 watts, or 75 watts, 75 watts, because I want bright. I know that a 40-watt bulb and a 40-watt bulb is not as bright as a 75-watt bulb. So the whole thinking of doing a light bulb has changed. So if I know that I fall back on I want 75 to 100, 75 to 100, I need to figure out the calculations of what the lamp, the housing fixture will allow. Now, that's the other thing. You have to cross-example, like, okay, I've got my light fixture. My sconces that I've chosen say I can only use a 25-watt bulb. Well, those 25 watts and 25 watts, maybe they're 6 watts or whatever, that's not enough to look at. So now we have to switch our gears towards lumens. So this is a whole new way of specifying lighting that we need to be up on. So we're going to get there, and I'm researching for you guys. And don't forget, if you want to have access to me one-on-one, my private Zoom meetings and more private teachings, you're gonna want to go over to the Kitchen and Bath Design Academy I have and join my membership site. And right now I'm having buy 11 months and get 1 month free. So I hope you want to come over and join me. I had my first Zoom meeting the other day with my members, and we are discussing the kitchen design guidelines, a course which is launched in this month's platform. All right, so that's all I've got. No questions. Ashik Islam says hello. So I say hi, Ashik. I think Ashik. I say potato, you say potato. Sometimes they spell my name with 2 L's. Sometimes they spell it with 1 L. Okay. So I think that I'm going to call it quits for today. Yeah, live on Facebook. I didn't record this, but whatever. All right, guys, listen, I'll talk to you later. Working on stuff. If you're a vendor, please, vendors, I want to know about your shower doors. I want to know about your towel bars. I want to know about the towel warmers, but you can only do it on vendor day. And if you're a contractor who does work and you want to say you can do, you're a vendor as well. Let us know what you do, where you are, what you have. If you're a cabinet manufacturer, let us know what you do, what you have. You're here on my Facebook group, so you can learn and grow and share, and sharing is caring. So I really want you to share your products, your wares, no direct links to paid product, but I'd like to know about you. So don't forget to post on vendor day. And if you're a designer, don't forget to post on designer day. Let's all see what we're up against. We've got a lot of kitchens. Let's get some bathrooms going on in there. Right? We'll get some bathrooms on the thread. Let's get some more trades to pop in. Don't be afraid to post on those theme days, because that's where we can really get to know each other. All right. Take care, guys. Check out my membership site. I'll talk to you later. Ciao for now. Peace out.